Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of A Healthy Dose of Fran. Today I'm doing a new Why segment. This one to me is particularly important because I will be talking about something that I've only spoken to a few people about in my life, and it's particularly important to me because it's about a fandom that has had a lot of influence in my life, and that's why today's segment is called Why Swan Queen Saved Me. I know, you guys are probably thinking this is very much a clickbait sort of title, but I promise you that it is true. The main reason I'm doing this is because I kind of want to show my appreciation to the Swan Queen fandom, to the actresses Jennifer Morrison and Lana Parrilla, who played the characters Emma Swan and Regina Mills, also known as the Evil Queen, from the show Once Upon a Time, which the Swan Queen fandom is in relation to. So Swan Queen, for anyone who doesn't know, is the ship for the characters Emma Swan and Regina Mills. The fandom had been going on from season 1 and all the way pretty much until the end. The reason why I'm doing this video is because with the series having completely finished now with its last season, which finished I think earlier this year, I kind of want to give something back to the actresses and to the fandom who really did a lot for me during my early years of being out. The amazing reason why I've given it this title, and I want to talk about the fact that this fandom really did huge things for me, is because around the time that Once Upon a Time came out here in the UK, I'd very recently come out to my family. I'd been forced out of the closet by people at my school, so I was going through a bit of a rough time. I was the only out person at my secondary school and to the American fans watching at my high school. And there was no one else that I could talk to. I had to deal with a lot of questions that I didn't have the answers to, a lot of nicknames and catcalling sort of things, which, you know, is never nice to experience, especially to someone who was 16 at the time. I'd recently set off to go to college, where I did meet a group of people who were also LGBT, so my confidence began to grow a little bit there. And that's when I came across Once Upon a Time on the television. And I was intrigued by the series, and I really liked the idea of the concept of fairy tales in the real world, and seeing these characters with new stories and different personality traits, etc, etc. And upon stumbling across this TV show, I started to look up online, and this is around the time that I started to get more into Tumblr, which, as everyone knows, is like gay heaven. And through looking for it on Tumblr, I came across people who liked the idea of Regina Mills and Emma Swan as a couple, and came up with all these theories that they're basically two mothers to a child, which, from the connotations of that, relationships come from that. And I started to realise that that was something I could be interested in, that I could see these relationships between two women, and it wasn't abnormal. I wasn't being perverted, which is what I used to think. If I liked the idea of two female characters together, I thought I was being a pervert. I thought I was being gross and projecting myself, or when I was still in the closet at the time, I thought I was disgusting. I thought it was horrible. I thought I was just all these kind of negative thoughts towards it. But seeing these people like the idea and openly expressing their like for this relationship, and having this camaraderie of the fact that all these people liked it as well, kind of brought to the attention of me, first of all, fandoms, because I didn't really know anything about fandoms at this point. I kind of knew that I liked some couples together, but I didn't really know what that meant, and didn't know it had a name for it, which was shipping. So first of all, it opened my eyes to fandoms in general, but it opened my eyes to the fact that there are more people out there like me who are in the LGBT community, who are not ashamed to be openly gay and openly express themselves, and who can see two female characters together and not feel like there's anything wrong with them feeling that way, or kind of seeing themselves in that character. And it was along this point that I then stumbled across fan fiction. Now, fan fiction turned my life around, which sounds really cheesy, but it's true, 100%. And the Swan Queen fan fiction that I found was it was the first stories that I'd ever read featuring two women in love. And I remember the first one that I read, I think it was Incoming Messages was one of the first ones that I read properly. That was kind of like a story, and I remember kind of reading it for the first time and getting really caught up in the story, and just finding more and more suggestions of people. And then I found myself really kind of getting in to the fandom and the idea of this relationship, and just kind of really getting involved in what was going on around me and not feeling ashamed of the fact that I was. Obviously I did at the time keep it to myself, the idea that I liked these two as a couple, because I watched the show with my family, and there was still some awkwardness going on around the time with some of my family members of my coming out, so I didn't want to kind of continue to be too open about it at the time. But as I got more comfortable and got more involved with the fandom, not only did I feel more confident myself and feel stronger in my reason to be who I am, I felt more open to be like that with my family and show that I had this interest in the idea of Regina and Emma being in a couple. They're two mums who both love their son, and things like that. And seeing also the whole idea of two women having a child together was something that I believed I couldn't have. Like, gay marriage at the time wasn't legal in the UK. It wouldn't be legal for another 2-3 years. 2 years, because I came out in 2012. I'm having to remember a lot of history for gay rights here in the UK. But yeah, so everything that kind of the community of Swan Queen helped me to understand about myself helped me to feel more comfortable with the people around me, especially with my family, which I think really kind of helped them deal with the fact that but not in a bad way, they were all fine with me being gay. I think it helped more that I was becoming more and more okay with me being gay as well. Like, I'd gone through 3 years of denial previously, and after coming out I was still not in denial of the fact that I was gay. I'd accepted that, but I was still afraid of the fact that I was gay. I wasn't as comfortable with myself as I'd like to have been. But Swan Queen and that fandom, and the actresses Jennifer Morrison and Lana Pralia, especially Lana as well, because she was very open with her fans, just all of that encompassed together, just generally it did change my life and made me feel less alone in a way. And just this, I continue to read Swan Queen fan fiction to this day. Like, I did stop watching the show after the 3rd season just because of, well, for anyone who is in the Swan Queen fandom and just in general the Once Upon a Time fandom, you know about the shipping wars and the huge things that were going on with that. But then also in general the issues that people were having with the show because of the writing and just kind of things like that, really. And that is kind of why I don't know if you guys can hear the fact that there's a hairdryer currently wearing here at home, but if you can, I'm going to carry on. So I did stop watching the show after a while, but I did continue to be involved with the fandom and this community because oh my god, I'm going to sound so cheesy, but they, in a way, they were my home. They were the first people to ever make me feel like I fully belonged. They gave me the confidence to be confident in who I was. They made me realise that the idea of two women in a relationship on television, in film, is normal. It's okay to see myself in a character and want them to be with another female character and not feel like I'm doing something horrible to this person. I could see things in character relationships that I wouldn't have before and not feel bad about it. I was being able to engage with hundreds of people around the world who were gay, who were fans of it, who I could connect with. The only negative that ever came out from Swan Queen is that I ended up having a really bad relationship with someone because we connected over Swan Queen, and then, you know, she turned out to be an arsehole. But that's not the point. Swan Queen and the fact, I'm just like waving my hands now. Swan Queen and the fandom, Lana Palia and Jennifer Morrison, they did save me from despair, from feeling alone. Like, I know I ended up having friends who were gay, but I still wasn't comfortable with everything going on around me, and even with who I was. But Swan Queen and that relationship, the fan fiction, the fan art, the way in which we grouped together to help one another through struggling times. I even went on to be one of those persons later on in life when I saw someone come to me, they asked for help about how to deal with the fact that they were realising they were bisexual, which obviously I know I'm not bi, but I wanted to help in any way I could, and just became like a shoulder for someone, became a listening ear, and all of that was because of Swan Queen. And I really do think if I hadn't found Swan Queen, if I hadn't found Once Upon a Time and the actresses and just the community involved, it would have taken me a lot longer to feel comfortable with who I was, with expressing who I was. Like, I've always been outspoken about the fact that I was gay after the fact, but the only reason I did that was because I felt like I had to, and I was never really comfortable doing it a lot. Like, I do it a lot now just because I've gotten to that comfortable level, but I don't speak too much about it, which probably people around me say that I do, but like, I feel like I could probably talk about it a lot more, but you know, that's not the point. But just, I know I'm rambling now, but I owe so much to this community and this show and the actresses as well, like Lana and Jennifer. Like, I don't know if you guys will ever see this, but if you do, I do want to say that I want to say oh my god, I'm getting emotional. I want to say thank you for everything that you guys did, and I want to say thank you to the community for everything. God, oh, I'm gonna come back. Hold on. Sorry about that. It is just generally a very emotional thing, because the Swan Queen changed my life. It made me realise that everything that I felt, everything that I was valid, and I could believe that I would one day be able to see myself on screen in a character, that there was a community who would be alongside me. There was always someone I could go to talk to if I was having a bad time. That, like, I'm in Facebook groups to do with Swan Queen even now. I continue to read the stories. Swan Queen even inspired a lot of my own creative work, and they have given a lot to me to make me who I am today. They helped me through my spinal surgery when I was 18. I would read the works there, I would get involved in the theories that were going on to keep me occupied, and it made me happy. And there are just so many things that I owe this fandom and the actresses, and just, I know I've said this already, just pretty much this exact same sentence, but I do really want to thank every single member of the Swan Queen community, as well as Jennifer and Lana, and all of the cast really. Just the show, even though the show ended up sucking a little, just from my perspective, from the way in which they did treat some fans, I wouldn't have been who I am today without this show. And I really do want to thank every single person, and I'm going to wrap up this video because I can feel I could probably start crying again, and you guys don't want to see that because you'll have already seen my Try Not to Cry video that came out Sunday just gone. So yeah, I am going to wrap up this video to say that that is why Swan Queen saved me. They gave me a community, they gave me a voice, they showed me that who I am is nothing to be ashamed of, that who I am is important and valid, and I can't thank anyone enough for showing me these lessons, for making me who I am today. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate all of your support. If you do want to support me further, the link to my Patreon is in the description box down below. There you can get access to early content or even have a decision on what things come out when. There is also a link to my Instagram in the description box where you can follow me and see what things are going on in my life. If you want to, you know. If you're not already subscribed to my YouTube, there's the button down below also, or you can click the one popping up here on screen. If you want to watch any of my previous videos, suggestions will be coming up here as well. To the Swan Queen fandom, I do want to say again, I love you guys so much, and to everyone else, I will see you guys next time.